My name's Hills. I am a very busy working mum with 2 boys and a husband. My boys are 10, very soon to be 11, and my other boy has not long turned 5, and I am pregnant with baby number 3, who is also a boy.
I lose my breath whenever I see you.
So I'm clearly destined to just produce boys. I'm actually 17 weeks pregnant. This is the first weekly update that I'm doing. I was very superstitious, quite honestly, during my first trimester, and I didn't document that journey. I was also very, very sick and ill and tired, as many of you will have experienced, and so now I'm feeling much, much better, and I thought this is the time to start doing week-by-week pregnancy updates. If you would like to see some tips on how I survived the first trimester, then I will put a link into that video and you can click and have a watch. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so here is starting with my, can you shut the door? I'm starting with my 17th week of pregnancy. Right now I am 17 weeks and 5 days, and so we are getting closer and closer to that halfway mark. Thought I would tell you a little bit about how I've been feeling this week, what's been happening. I also had a midwife appointment. That's just my 2nd midwife appointment now, so I will update you a little bit on that as well. So in terms of symptoms and development, I definitely feel like I have popped a little bit this week. The baby I read is the size of a sweet potato or a navel orange, which I think is quite a large orange, and so it would make sense that I would be starting to show a little bit more. Interestingly, first thing in the morning, I don't show very much, and I have googled it and panicked a little bit in the morning. I asked the midwife about it and she said it's totally normal. What happens at night is that all of your organs kind of flatten out when you're lying down, and so when you get up in the morning you don't really have much in the way there of bump because everything's been pushed back. Someone wants to be in the video. But as you progress throughout the day, all of that comes out, and of course you eat. So by the night time I feel like I've got a very sizable bump, but first thing in the morning I don't think anyone would really know that I'm pregnant. The thing that I found this week is that the energy levels continue to get better and better. So I still feel tired on some days, but I can normally pick myself up quite quickly, and so I have definitely been, you know, having energy to clean. I felt more energetic to go and get things done. I've been fine with work. Generally speaking, I just feel a lot better. In terms of symptoms that haven't been as pleasant, and this is a little bit TMI, but I have suffered with thrush on and off for most of my adult life, but during pregnancy it ramps it up a gear, and so every other week I have been battling thrush, and I've just been treating it. I actually got one of the diagnostic kits just to make sure that's definitely what we were dealing with, and it is. That seems to be quite a common side effect of pregnancy, but it is pretty unpleasant. The other side effect that's not been so pleasant this week is sleep. So I've struggled with sleep a little bit more this week, and I think it could be because the time is coming for a pregnancy pillow. I've just not been as comfortable. I've been a bit hot, and I think the thrush is not helping there as well. So I might be investing in a pregnancy pillow pretty soon. Please, if you have any that you would recommend, let me know. In terms of movement, I'm definitely feeling some movement, and I don't think it will be too long before my kids and husband can feel a kick or two. At the moment, it's, you know, it's a little bit more than flutters, I would say. There was something that I ate the other day, probably something not healthy, and the baby was, you know, really going for it after that. So that is really reassuring, and I can't wait to feel a bit more. Final update from this week is that I met with the midwife, and this was only my second appointment. So I've had one appointment, I think it was around 8 or 9 weeks, and then obviously you have a 12-week scan, and then an appointment again at 16 weeks, which ended up being in my 17th week by the time I got the appointment. And this one was much faster than the booking in appointment for anyone that's done that. It was very quick. It was a few updates, making sure that my blood test results were all okay, the checking of the heartbeat, which always gives you a bit of anxiety when they first do it. You know, are they going to find it okay? But they did, and that was all fine. And she said it was a very active baby. She could tell even by the heartbeat. And we just had a general chat. One thing I did ask her about in anticipation of spring and summer is hay fever. I really struggle with hay fever, and I had an inkling that you couldn't take anything during pregnancy. Sorry about this one. And I'm right, you can't. I mean, she said after 20 weeks it's really up to you. They're not advising that you can't take it because there's really, you know, no testing that's done that makes them confident saying you can, but of course that makes you nervous. So I'm going to need to try and find solutions that are a bit more herbal based. So again, if anyone has any solutions, please do share below. In terms of standard things, weight gain, I am not weighing myself weekly. I just think I'll get into some unhealthy habits by doing that. But I am weighing myself halfway through every trimester, so in a couple of weeks I will weigh myself again. When I weighed myself during the first trimester, it was at 10 weeks and I had put on 2 pounds at that point. It might even have been 1.5. I think that was probably a lower amount than I anticipated because of the sickness and the food aversions. I will probably weigh myself around maybe around 20 weeks or so. Food aversions, they've definitely calmed down, but I'm cooking more now. I had stopped cooking entirely during the first trimester, but I am still opting for simpler food, things that don't require a massive amount of prep. I just still find in the evening I'm a bit tired. I don't really have the energy for big meals and for the prep and the cleanup that comes with it. The final thing is the bump. So guys, this is the bump at 17 weeks and 6 days. These trousers, by the way, are amazing for lounging around the house. They're Nick's maternity and they're just their harem trousers, but they're so amazing. So definitely you can tell there's something there. I think most people could probably tell at this point, but I'm sure we're going to pop out more in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for tuning in for the 17-week update, and I will see you next week at 18 weeks. Take care, bye!
We're going to talk about tennis today. Know how much I miss. Do you know how much I miss tennis? It just goes all the way over my head. And football is easier, but I added a big bump today. Do we see this? Good. Why are you guys talking to me? We had an Easter bonnet thing. And I needed to put my hat on. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this plain video. Bye bye.
Just till we grow old, please tell me you'll stay or take me away. I want you for myself every single day.